All right, so in the last video for this topic, I want to take a look at the pattern attribute that you can add to a number of elements, input elements with the type text, date, search, URL, tell, email, and password. You can add a pattern attribute, and the pattern attribute specifies a regular expression that the input element's value is checked against when the form is submitted. So to look at that, we can see, say we want to have a phone number. I'm going to add a phone number field here. I'm going to copy this and then change this to phone. Whoop. Change the text so we know what it is. Type tell. And the name is phone and ID is phone. Just like we've set up our other elements. So now just saving this, loading the page, we can see we have this phone number field. Even though it's type tell, we can add in text if we wanted to. We can make sure that these are valid. And then when we go to click submit, it's allowing us to submit that. Is that type equals tell is not fully supported in browsers yet to check that it is a valid phone number format. So you may want to do some kind of checking to make sure that that is going to work the way that you want it to. And you can do that by using this pattern equals. And then what you would put in there is a regular expression. And we're not going to get too deep into that. It's just an expression to tell the browser what it is that you're expecting to be in that field. And there are a ton of things that you can do, whether you're looking for text, symbols, numbers, whatever. But for simplicity's sake, I'm going to just do a simple phone number thing here. So here I'm going to put 0-9 and then in curly brackets 3. So that's going to tell it that I want 3 numbers that are between 0 and 9. Then I want a dash, 3 more numbers that are between 0 and 9. And another dash, numbers 0 to 9, and I want 4 of those. So looking at that, I'm going to save this, refresh my page. And now in the phone number field, I'm going to go ahead and make sure that these are valid. Now if I put in, say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, we can already see that that's not valid. We can submit that. It's saying please match the requested format. And because we can't really do much with those pop-ups, you would want to display somewhere what the expected format is. You can do that in the phone or in the label somewhere. You can add some extra text. You can add a title to that field. So here I'm going to title equals phone number formatted as 555-555-5555. So now when we refresh the page, we can see in here we're not getting much. If we hold our mouse over that element, we can see what we put in as the title popping up. That can be helpful. Something else that you can do to help with that would be use a placeholder that you can put in your input elements. So placeholder equals 555-555-5555. So now when I refresh my page, we can see we have kind of a placeholder here so you can see what's expected for that phone number format. So as I enter this in, as we saw, just entering in these numbers doesn't work. That shows invalid. But if I enter in 3 numbers, dash, 3 more numbers, and then 4 numbers, once I hit that 4th number, it tells me that that's valid. And I can then move on to do whatever it is I need to do. That's just a quick look at using those patterns. There are a ton of things that you can do with those if you want to dig in and start learning some regular expressions and things that you can do with that, but that is well beyond the scope of this class. But if you see something like this pattern in HTML that you're looking at, you kind of have an idea of what might be going on, and you can even copy that pattern and search for that regex or regular expression, and you can probably find something that's going to help you figure out what exactly that is. There's some regex tutorials, regular expression testers, so I can put that in there. Check against 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. Test, no match was found. And that's because it didn't match what we had. Now when I have this dashes in here, it does match that string. There are some better ones, some things that you can do to try to put some regex together. Most of the stuff that you would want to use those patterns on and use regex for, there's somebody out there that's had that issue and has already solved that problem. So you could search regular expression for US phone number, and you can find a much better regular expression out there somewhere that somebody else has already come up with, doing some things like this. And you don't have to fully understand it. It is good if you're going to use them to get a basic understanding so that you know that you are using what you wanted to use. But there's a lot of those out there that people have already done, so it's not necessary to try to come up with a lot of those on your own. Regex is kind of its own thing, and like I said, we don't really go into it. This is the only time we really look at that this semester. So don't get too hung up on it. It's not that big of a deal if it looks like a completely foreign language, because it kind of is. It's just not something that we're going to go into in depth.